I'm going to demonstrate how to bind off ribbing on double-pointed needles. You start by knitting off the first stitch, taking your extra needle, knit 1, pull it tight, knit 2, pass the yarn over to bind it off. You're going to slip off your marker. Now we're ready for the purl stitches. You bring your yarn in front, you purl the first stitch, bind it off. You purl the second stitch, you bind it off. Now you're ready for the next knit stitches. You're going to put your yarn in back and you're going to knit 1, pass the yarn over to bind it off, knit the second, pass the yarn over to bind that off. Now we have an empty needle, so we're just going to put that down and go on to the second needle. We're now ready for a purl stitch. Going to purl that stitch, pass the yarn over to bind it off, purl the next stitch, pass the yarn over to bind it off, and now we're ready for the knit stitches. Knit, bind off, knit, bind off. Bring your yarn in front for the next purl stitches, purl, pass the yarn over to bind off, purl, pass the yarn over to bind off. We have another empty needle. We're going to eliminate that and then just go normally on the last needle with knit, bind off, knit, bind off. Bring your yarn in front for purl, purl, bind off, purl, bind off. Put your yarn in the back for knit, knit, bind off, knit, bind off. Put your yarn in the front for purl, purl, pass over, bind off, purl, pass over and bind off. We have another empty needle. Going to put that aside. I've already cut my yarn, so we're just going to pull that through, and that's your ribbed bind off on double point needles. Make sure that you don't knit or purl too tightly. You want the bottom and the top to have the same elasticity. Take your little marker off, and that's it.